¿Qué onda, plebes? Me reporto. Este va a ser el inicio de el video de nuestras vacaciones. Ya muy merecidas. Tenemos tiempo que no dejamos, bueno, desde mucho antes de la pandemia que no nos tomábamos una semana entera de vacaciones. Y pues ya, ahorita falta hacer maletas. Cristito ya terminó la mayor parte de su maleta. Ahora me toca a mí. Yo llevo una maleta carry-on porque no me gusta estar esperando que salga mi maleta de la, de esto. Es chiquitita. I'm not even gonna check it in. No la voy a documentar. Esta maleta me la voy a llevar conmigo. No pienso llevar muchas cosas. Va a ser algo muy leve. Unas cuantas camisas, unos shorts, repetir la ropa, laundry. Hacer laundry, allá te lavan la ropa y sale muy barato. Que te laven la ropa, te la planchan, te la doblan, bla, bla, bla. Y sí, no tenemos nada, no tenemos itinerario, pero estoy seguro que vamos a tener unos días interesantes. Así que espero que no se nos olvide grabar porque hemos salido, hemos hecho cosas que quiero compartir con ustedes y queremos compartir con ustedes. Y por una razón u otra se nos olvida sacar la cámara, se nos olvida que tenemos que hacer videos y tenemos varios videos que están como a medias porque empiezo a grabar y ya en el transcurso del día se me va la onda y ya. Entonces, ojalá este video nos salga bonito. Y el ratito que suba el Chris, que él les platique un poco. ¿Va? Ahí vamos. ¿Qué ole, plebes? Ya mero termino mi empacadera. Mi maletita con mis cositas, mis calzoncitos, mis calcetincitos, mis pantaloncitos. Ahí está el Chris. He's excited. His bag is obviously like 2 times bigger than mine because he's a diva.
It's better to be what? Over prepared than not prepared at all. Or
It's better to be what?
isn't it to be overly prepared than not prepared at all? So I take a little extra every time. I'm always like overpacking and I tend to not wear some of the stuff. But I rather have options.
Why are you taking it in a Target bag? You can take Target to Mexico.
It's my shoes and my water shoes.
Oh. Are mine in there too?
Yeah, your water shoes are in
Cool.
there too.
Yeah,
And my chanclas.
We're done packing. It's just little things here and there that gotta get organized, and we're done.
My Disney bag.
His Disney bag.
That's where I have all my personal stuff.
Yep.
I'm excited.
Well, we're gonna call it a night, and we will see you in the morning. Bye-bye.
Good morning. It's about 5:30 in the morning. Just getting ready to head to the airport in a few minutes. Well, not to the airport yet, but eventually we'll get there. But why is it when you have to go to work, you don't want to get up? But when it's not work, you do get up. In a good mood. But yeah, just gonna get everything packed up. Last minute things, toiletries. Then we'll hit the road. So we made it to the airport. We just checked in our bags and we're about to go through TSA. Just stop for a little quick bathroom break because you know how those lines go. But yeah, so far so good. What did she say?
What's up? Aquí estoy en el aeropuerto, having a little sandwich because I'm really hungry. my mama. Extraña. We still have como que una hora para abordar. So. What you got?
An egg fried sandwich.
That sounds good. When I was reading it, it sounded really good. He's prepared. So, what were your expectations as far as traveling during COVID? Like, when you got to the airport, what did you think it would be like with COVID going on and all of the restrictions and whatnot?
Not being able to breathe.
To breathe?
Yeah, because you have to have your mask on the whole time.
But when you got there,
it went pretty quick. I thought we were gonna be like in line for a long time. We actually got there. We checked in real quick. I got our bags checked in, and we were waiting for like almost 2 hours in the airport, an hour and a half.
About, yeah.
I didn't expect it to be that quick. But yeah, overall, that process was quick.
Can't forget about the ketchup. Provecho.
Here we go, Eric. Woo-hoo. Boarding our flight. We shall see Manzanillo in what, three and a half? Eric? 3 hours.
Have watched the video of us in the airplane and toasting. How did you feel with it? Like with keeping your mask on, taking it off to eat? Did it seem a little bit absurd? But
it did, but like you have to take every security measure possible with that recycled air. And
but you're still eating it, and I mean, yeah, you're like it's if you're eating crackers, you could take off your mask.
It was trail mix.
Trail mix, and if you're drinking or whatever. But
so we're ordering drinks, and he's like telling the flight attendant to, Coke and what is it?
Jack and Coke.
Jack and Coke, and I'm like, I'm not gonna drink with you. He's like, it's not for you. And I'm like, what do you? And I'm like, oh, okay.
Because you could only order one drink at a time. So
yeah, so he uses me as bait. So we ended up I actually ended up drinking a little bit at the end of it. And then your mom kept on like, oh, I don't want to drink. But then she ended up taking sips of yours too. So,
I know.
So we basically got 3 people to drink out of what, 2 drinks?
Two of the little Jack bottles. But
yeah.
It is what it is. was your like? What were your thoughts when we were landing? As we were landing, and the reason why I'm asking you is because, you know, this was the first time that you were going to that place in Mexico to visit my family. So tell me about like your thoughts during our landing when we got there.
Before landing, I was like a little kid just looking out the window, and I didn't expect like little rivers everywhere, it being so green, and for us to land like right next to the beach was crazy. And then once we landed and getting off the plane, I thought we were gonna get on a off ramp or whatever, but basically it's just the stairs. And right away when they opened the doors, like you feel the humidity, you feel the heat. Started like sweating. My lenses were like fogging up, and we went through customs, and that was a whole crazy experience. And then we forgot to
tell them about the experience of in customs. What we got a little feisty with the immigration officer.
The immigration officer like calls us, and he's all like, "Oh well, what are you guys? How are you guys related?" And we're like, "He's my partner."
Like, do you guys live in the same household?
No, yeah, well, yeah. He goes, "We're partners." He goes, "Oh," because then he's all like, "Well, you guys have to check in separate." I'm like, "Why? We live together." And so I was getting frustrated
because he was like, "Are you guys married?"
Yeah, and I'm like, "No, but we live together." So anyway, he lets us check in, but right away you already know once I gave him that attitude, because he was giving attitude right back. They stopped us, and we had to get our bags checked. Erik's mom couldn't pass some coffee that she was taking.
Coffee.
And the funny story about that coffee is that coffee came from like a nearby pueblo, and she was taking it back to her sister, and the coffee never
made it.
It never made it. So that's a funny story.
So the coffee is from Canoas, Colima. It was brought down from Canoas to Arizona. And then from Arizona,
it got FedEx to us. And then my aunt, who was here at the time, she forgot to take the coffee with her. So, it was a good, kilo of coffee, and it was just wrapped up in a clear container. Yeah, it was just in a bag. It wasn't in a container or anything. It was it's like actual fresh coffee.
So then we packed the coffee to take it back to Colima. And
no pasó.
We couldn't get it to go through customs because it needed to be in its original packaging, and that was crazy. But I think it's mainly because we did give him attitude when the whole incident about, oh, how are you related and all this stuff, because he wanted us to check in separately. We were only given one form for customs because I told their flight attendant that we were all living together.
He said one form.
And she said, okay, you only need one form. But then he wanted to get a little smart with us. And of course, we gave him attitude.
But that's not the end, though. After, when we're going to go get our car rental, that's a different story, too. They try to, give us all these other fees and everything like that. Completely different to what Erik had booked online. And at the end, once Erik's like, well, I'm not going to pay, forget it, cancel the reservation. Then they were all like, oh, yeah, we'll give it to you for that price. And by that time, Erik was pissed. He's like, no, you can keep your business.
I was livid. Basically made the reservation through Expedia, which unfortunately I do not recommend. We get there. I had made a reservation for a car that was supposed to cost us, it was like a little SUV for like $500 to $600 with insurance included. And they didn't want to honor that price, saying that we needed additional insurances, which I know the game. I said no. And then they wanted to give me another car that was a lot bigger, and it was going to be like almost 3 times the cost. So it would have been like $1,500 for the entire week. And so I said, nope, you guys are stupid. And I believe I did say that, que están pendejos. And I was just so angry, and we just walked away. And so that was a shitty experience. But it is what it is. You gotta love Mexico.
Oye, ¿cómo se llama esta tienda?
Bodega Aurrera.
Mira, está el pinol. Me voy a llevar pinol para allá.
Es original, eh?
But if you guys know me, you know what I came for. Las papitas.
chips.
Las papitas mexicanas.
That's right.
Those are like las rufles, the queso. You can't compare.
Es jabón foca. Que voy a llevar al río, lo voy a llevar al río para que se ponga a lavar mañana. Look at him picking up his coffee. He has to have his coffee. ¿Cuál es el que viene pre-made?
Se me hace que es este.
¿Ya?
Like pink. No?
No sé. Cappuccino vanilla. ¿Ya viene con la crema y todo?
So, of course, like whenever you go to Mexico, you always want to go to the store and get your essentials and stuff like that. Well, my essentials being chips and coffee. And you know, the chips over there are totally different, especially the rufles, the queso. They're totally different. So I had to get that plus some jalapeno chips. And then, of course, my coffee. And I became obsessed with this coffee because it's like a cappuccino and it's all in one. And so, I don't know. It's just, and I brought some back here and I don't think I finished it yet, but there's just something about Mexican products are more better than American products. I hope I don't get shit. I don't get crap for saying that, but some are true though. But
it's like that for any other country. I mean, and yeah, that was it. We did forget to record more as the night progressed and as we started to settle in. And that's why we decided to do these clips to add a little more detail to the video and then finish off the first segment of our vacations. We're a little behind, but I hope you guys stay tuned for the next one that's coming up in a few days after this goes up. I don't know if you have anything more to say. If you enjoyed watching this video, go ahead and give us a like, a thumbs up. Send us some comments, subscribe, and turn on your bells for notifications so you can see when we upload our next videos. Thank you guys for watching.